Welcome aboard the Ear to There podcast, the podcast that'll help you vacation like a pro in any Disney destination. For those of you standing, please sit down and hold on throughout our journey and get ready to learn how to have the time of your life. And now, here's your host, Phil Gramlich.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Ear to There podcast. If you've been keeping up with this podcast since day one, thank you for your support. Now, if you're a recent convert, welcome to the family, and I hope you're enjoying your time hanging out with us. Now, as you know, Phil Gramlich is the host of the Ear to There podcast, and he's also the owner and operator of Ear to There Travel, a Disney specialized travel agency. So you might be wondering, where the heck is Phil? And who the heck am I? Well, I'm Johnny Shortsleeve, and you may recognize my slow drawl from a few episodes here and there in the past, like episode J, where you can find the softest toilet paper in Walt Disney World. Now, since Phil is starting to get some serious fame and notoriety, he's locking down some really serious talent these days for his guest list. So what does that mean for hacks like me? Well, you just got to take over the show if you want to get some airtime. You know what I mean? So I'm going to be the one steering the ship today because my man Phil knows a lot about a topic that, honestly, I actually know nothing about. DVC, Disney Vacation Club. So Phil's going to help me get my learn on, and hopefully you'll pick up some good nuggets too along the way. So Phil, welcome to your show.
Dude, thank you so much. And that was way better than I expected. And I'm not selling
you short. Is that good? Is that like an insult or is that
No, I'm not selling you short at all. I was like, all right, he's going to have something good here. And yeah, I was blown away. Excellent. Thank you for having me on my podcast.
Hey, you're welcome to have you on your podcast. Absolutely. Now, let me see if I can set the tone here, because some people may have heard that intro. Well, I'm not a Disney Vacation Club member, or this isn't for me. I'm not a Disney Vacation Club member. You are. I want to know more about it because all I know is that, yeah, the properties exist, but somewhere I got this bug in my ear that people like me who aren't DVC members can go and book a room at one of the DVC properties. Now, where this bug came in my head was with the bungalows at the Polynesian. Somebody started talking about, what the quote unquote rack rate is. And I said, what the heck is a rack rate? And so they said, yeah, you don't have to be a DVC member, a Disney Vacation Club member, to book one of the bungalows to stay there. You just pay a rate if they're available. So I started thinking, wow, is that how all the DVC properties are? And so then you and I started talking. I said, wait, we need to hit the record button on this, and we need to see if we can iron this out, because I have to imagine that there are tons of people like me who just know enough to be dangerous or to have a polite conversation at a cocktail party about Disney Vacation Club. So what's the scoop? How does that work, Phil? So can I just call you up and say, hey, I want to stay in a bungalow, or I want to stay in whatever is it the studio rooms? Is that what they're called? And you can just book that for me?
So, Johnny, first of all, I have to say, you aren't a DVC owner or member, but you do play one on a podcast. I don't know why I had to say that. I just felt like as soon as you said it, you were like, you're not one. I was like, I have to, that joke is in my head and I have to say it. So absolutely you can book this is really working out. I feel like I'm the guest. This is cool. And I am in a way, but
I don't have that rockin' studio like you do though.
That's true. Yeah. I'm looking around. My voice kind of probably turned a little bit there. I spun around in my chair a little bit. The studio is cool.
Body does. I have a chair that spins. I'm in a van down by the river right now.
You're sitting in the back seat of an old VW Bug, or VW. What do you call them? The bus.
Bus.
Yeah, the bus. No, yeah, I do have a cool studio. I have to admit, my wife has my awesome wife. I was trying to think of a better word, but awesome's a good one. Amy has allowed me to turn my passion into a complete obsession and build this studio in my house, which is crazy. And I never thought, seriously, you've known me for a while. A year ago, I never thought I'd be doing this, but here I am. It's crazy. But anyway, yeah, so if you want to book a studio, is what they call the kind of standard not lower level, because they're all at phenomenal resorts. But if you wanted to book a studio room at any of the DVC resorts, you could definitely just give me a call or jump on my website or my Facebook page or Instagram or Twitter or Pinterest or any of those places. And yeah, just let me know and I can get you some prices. You can absolutely book a DVC room if you aren't a DVC member.
So when we were, kind of setting this up, I used the example of the bungalows at the Polynesian, which I don't even want to say the numbers because
the price.
Everything I've heard is just, I guess, rumors, and it's a pretty price. But you know what? Hey, to be fair, you get an amazing experience. It's an amazing property. I've never stepped foot in one, but I've seen videos and pictures and all, and I've heard people who've stayed. I've talked to people who've stayed in them. They said they're insane. But so there's that. Like there's that end of the spectrum. But I'm talking about maybe like more reasonable, like the civilians, like me, so. Help me understand this. So like the other day I was walking the grounds of the Polynesian and just kind of taking a leisurely stroll. And I walked past that one longhouse that I know has the DVC rooms in it. But from the outside looking in, I can't really tell what the difference is. So what would be the difference? Or, if I was to say, hey, Phil, I want to book a trip. I keep beating up on the Polynesian. Let's do it again. I want to book a trip at the Polynesian, Phil. Should I get a regular guest room or should I get one of the DVC? You call them studios, I think. Is that the right phraseology?
It is for
studio.
So for the standard, what you would consider a regular hotel or resort hotel room, that they call those the studios. But just taking a quick step back, you weren't peeping in the rooms, right? You were just walking by, noticing that there was DVC at the Polynesian. I'm just making sure. We don't want to
say that like it's so dirty. Like, what's wrong with that? Like, I'm just looking. It's like when you go to a car dealership, you look in the windows there. I mean, so someone's sitting in it. Someone's in there. Well, who cares?
I think
they kept the blinds open.
What's funny is you are a little noticeable with the backwards hat and the Johnny short sleeve shirt. So it would be hard to kind of miss you walking by the room. So I guess.
Although I'll say this, I haven't kicked my game up a notch yet. When I've told myself when I'm ready for the next level is if you can walk down the street wearing a shirt with a face on it that's your face on your shirt, that's next level. Like I'm not there yet.
Dude, that's like Steve-O. You ever see Steve-O? He has his own face tattooed on his back from Jackass.
Oh, then he's levels. He's superhuman. Like no one will get to that level. No one needs to get to that level.
Yeah. Can I say? Can I say Jackass on my podcast? I don't know if I can. I may have to beep that out.
I am somewhat friends with one of the crew members on there, and it's the word is used in the family house with the kids.
Okay, so it's good.
And so it's an acceptable word.
Tangent.
So I wasn't like a peeping Tom in the rooms, but when I was walking, it was in the evening hours, and some of them had the curtains open, and there wasn't anyone there. But I was looking in there, and I mean, from the outside looking in, like the decor looked very similar,
right?
But like I can't tell like what is the difference in like the layout. Like, do you get more room, more square footage and all that?
Yeah. So for the studio rooms, you get a little more square footage. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, I don't have the numbers in front of me at the moment. But they're a little larger. You have your 2 queen beds in the DVC studio rooms. You also have your kitchenette. So you have a slightly bigger refrigerator. You have a sink, like a kind of little kitchen sink with actual silverware and glasses. Although I think from what my experience, most of the studio rooms, they have plasticware and plastic cups and not the actual glassware and real silverware. But they also
I'm out. Not for me. Johnny Shortsleeve doesn't eat off plasticware, everybody.
What about the silverware, the plasticware that looks like silverware? Did you ever see that? You go to a place. You go to
that's the culinary equivalent of a T-shirt with a tuxedo print on it.
That's a good point. That's actually really well done. That's so true. Yeah, you go to like a communion party or a quinceanera, and you get there and they have I don't know.
Or a welcome home from prison party.
I don't know anyone who's had a quinceanera, by the way. I'm sorry. I'm not making a joke about it. It's just for some reason after communion party, that's exactly what came to my head. I don't know.
Those are big deals, man. They don't mess around.
Yeah, they're huge. But they're not as big as the bar or bat mitzvahs, which are crazy deals. I had a friend of mine in college whose dad paid for a couple of Philadelphia 76ers to come to his little sister's bat mitzvah. Sixers players that he paid their appearance fee. That was insane to me. Anyway, another tangent. I'm sorry, but yeah,
some great photo ops though.
Yeah, crazy, right? Like 8 foot tall guys with 3 foot tall girls. It's crazy.
He's like palming her head and just like picking her up.
It's true, but yeah. So, where the heck was I going with this? The silverware. Yeah, it is the ultimate fake out when you go and you're like, oh, this is a fancy barbecue, and then it's not really silver; it's plastic, or it messes with your head a little bit. Like, why is there? Did you ever hear that? Why is there plastic silverware? Why do you sit in a stand, or why do you drive in a parkway but park in a driveway? I don't know the answer to that.
I haven't heard the plastic silverware one though. Silverware one. That's an interesting one.
Anyway, dude, I'm so sorry. I'm completely out in left field with the hockey stick right now.
Now I know how you feel when I start driving this train down tangent.
You're like, come on, man, just get the answer. So the answer.
Well, you know what's funny though? You said you don't know the numbers on the rooms. Like I was thinking, oh man, he could have just totally could have pretended to sound smart. It's like, oh yeah, they're 876 square feet. No one's going to show up with a Mary Poppins tape measure and like rope it off and call you up and say, nah, man, your measurements all wrong.
Dude, you know what's really funny is when we moved into our house and the square footage was discussed and how much square footage I could use for my office and write it off my taxes and all that. I am the worst with that. I with square footage and math, and I was never good at math. I'm not good at that kind of thing. So I would have given you some outrageous number, and people will be like, "Oh my God, it's that big! We're gonna book that tomorrow," and then I'd be done. I'd be out of the podcast tomorrow morning. So
50,000 square feet. Wow, it's like the size of World of Disney.
So yeah, I wish I could do that, but I don't know. I'm so bad with that. I couldn't even make up a number. But yeah, they are slightly bigger than the regular rooms at the resorts. And like I said, you have your little kitchenette areas, so that's kind of cool. Like I said, slightly bigger.
So tell me about that though. So like with the kitchenette, so is that, you got to educate me because I'm lowfalutin. Is that like a little fridge, a little microwave, like little sink, like just enough? So I've seen the bungalows and I've seen some of the like the bigger villas or suites on Animal Kingdom Lodge or whatever, where they have like full blown kitchens in those suckers. But like a kitchenette, so that if I've got little kidlets, if I want to stay in one of those rooms, I could, it could be enough where I could put some beverages in there or some food and, have like some nice little snacks ready if I don't want to go out for breakfast or whatever. Yeah.
So the studios have it's a slightly bigger fridge than you'll have in your, in the regular Disney rooms, right? Think college dorm fridge is what you're looking at. Probably, it's still a tiny fridge. You can get your drinks in there, maybe, your kids' juice boxes, your adult, a little 6-pack of adult beverages if you so desire. Your takeout food from the night before. You're not getting a full-blown grocery order in that fridge. But that changes when you go up in levels and when you go up to a different DVC room that you're going to pay for.
So that's and how evident is that when you're booking? So like if I said to you, all right, so we're going to go there. This is the number of people I'm coming with. And, we plan to, it'd be cool to have a place to keep some stuff cold. we're not going to do any cooking. So this is the kind of kitchenette we'd like, versus we say, you know what, we're on a budget and we want to get some groceries delivered through one of those grocery delivery services. And we'll do, cook like, one meal a day or so just to save a few bucks. Then that would be a different level of room, just based on like you can, it's easy. In other words, it's easy to ascertain how much kitchen you're getting based on okay. So there's no surprises when you're trying to.
Again, like when you book a studio room, you're getting, basically the Disney regular standard Disney resort hotel room with a little kind of, I would say, again, I'm terrible at square footage, so a little more than a closet sized area for your kitchenette. That's kind of what you're getting. Then when you would book, if you would go up to the 1 bedroom, that's when you start talking full kitchen with a full size refrigerator, full size microwave, stove with a broiler, multiple burners, dishwasher, all of that. I mean, that's basically
it sounds like I just lurk around the hotels in the evenings, but this is maybe like a month ago. I was walking the grounds at the Grand Floridian at night, and I was walking over by that new DVC tower that they built, 5 or 6 years ago, however long ago that was. And I'd never paid attention to it before, but just for whatever reason, it was nighttime, and the guest staying in that room had all the curtains wide open, and it was this massive room, like a great room. And it was right there on the ground floor, like next to the pathway for this one room. And they had this insanely huge dining room table, this crazy looking kitchen, like something out of like HGTV, like, a dream home. And then like a huge living room area with the big TV. And then I didn't have like curtains drawn on the bedrooms and all that kind of stuff. But I was like, oh my goodness, this place is massive. And I guess that would be great if you're coming, like if you have a big family, or if you're, trying to go there with 2 families, like you're doing a reunion or friends or whatever. Like that would be cool to have that, just like your own little space where you can kind of retreat to and hang out. Whereas like, like a typical hotel room, if you're just saying, you know what, I just want the hotel room just to crash at night, I don't need anything fancy or whatever. But, I'm the kind of person who likes to slow down, likes to take it easy, and I like getting together with friends and family, and something like that would be really cool to have something like that, more expansive space.
Yeah, I mean, the newer DVC resorts, the newer additions, like the Grand Floridian, like Bay Lake Tower, like the Grand Californian, actually out in Disneyland, have the deluxe. I think you might have seen the deluxe villa, right?
Yeah,
which
I'm guessing that's what it was.
Sleeps up to, I think it's 10 or 12. It's a ton of people. The ones out at the Grand Californian actually have a pool room. I mean, like billiards, a pool room in them. It's amazing. The ones at Bay Lake have a loft, which is unbelievable looking. You get views of the castle. You get views of Bay Lake, the Bay Lake Tower. I'm sorry, I just said Bay Lake, but at Bay Lake Tower. They're unbelievable. They are. Now listen, of course, when you're getting a room like that, you're paying for it. I mean, it's not something, you're paying for the view, you're paying for the proximity to the park, you're paying for the room, you're paying for your 70, 80-inch TV they have in there.
Well, and then there's the experience of, the Disney cast members and that whole, aspect of, because I've stayed at places where I just think these people just hate me. Like, but I'm paying for their salary by staying here, but they hate me. Like, I don't. Yeah, but you don't get that big.
I think
Disney.
it's just you.
maybe, yeah. It's like the Sixth Sense. Like everyone around me hates me. They think I'm a jerk. Oh, maybe I am a jerk.
No, that's funny, but yeah, like the service you get at Disney is I've said it a million times, and I said it on the podcast. That I think, yeah, it'll be out before this one. I can't remember. I recorded so many podcasts the last couple of days. The Disney Cruise Line service is even better. But yeah, the level of service that you get doing, staying in a room like this or staying in one of the deluxe resorts, it's really doesn't compare to. I really think anything else. Like, unless you're staying. Listen, is Disney the Four Seasons? Probably not, but it's not, in my opinion, way, way, way below it when it comes to one of those kind of experiences. One of the deluxe villas or something like that. It's actually pretty outrageous.
Yeah, no, I understand. I mean, there's a place for everybody, and I know why people might like some of those other resorts, but I think for the money, and I know people sometimes get sticker shock because they say, "Wow, I can go to a Hilton and pay $79 a night or whatever." Sure. Yep. There's an opportunity cost. There's the time to travel. Like, yeah, you can be 20 minutes away from the front gate. But it takes time, and you have to park and then all this and that, whereas it's so much easier and convenient to be working straight with Disney, and all that transportation is complimentary. This is starting to sound like a commercial for Disney. But
that's all right, man. That's what I do.
Yeah, evidently that's what this is.
That's my thing. That's what I do.
But hey, what really kind of got my brain moving on this was I was having a conversation with someone about our mutual friend Herb. I was talking to him about what I think is one of the best kept secrets at Disney in terms of places to stay. And I said, the Treehouse Villas at Saratoga Springs. I said, he and I, like, we talked about this, and we kind of scratched our heads saying, why is this the best kept secret? Because, it is a Disney Vacation Club, technically a Disney Vacation Club type of room, or, these little forest wooded section off of the side of the property for Saratoga Springs. Nobody knows about it. It seems like nobody talks about it.
Right.
Is it because they're always booked up? But if you have a chance, like anyone listening, grab a web browser and Google some of the pictures of these places. They're phenomenal.
They're unbelievable. Yeah, they are.
And I know someone who stayed in one, and it's amazing. Like,
palace.
It's a palace, but it's cool because it's off in the woods and it's quiet. And that would be a great spot. Again, like if you're going to share this, because it sleeps like 70 or 80 people. I'm not good with numbers either. I don't know.
I think it's 70 or 80.
I'm not good with numbers, just like you. But it's two families could probably share one of those and have a massive kitchen in there. But why do you think that's probably like the best kept secret in terms of like the rooms you could get, options you could have for places to stay at Disney?
It's a weird thing. It is, as you said, it's booked. Like I've had people, and I don't really primarily sell or book DVC rooms. A lot of people that, my clients, the guests that come to me are looking at, they want to get the best deal, but they want to get a lower price. And I understand that completely. And that's what I'm here for, is to get you the absolute lowest price for your vacation. Of course, that's what everyone wants. And that's what I want for you. I think these rooms are kind of out of the way. They're away from it all. They're, as we said, they're big. They're very kind of palatial. That's a good word, right? Palatial. I think that's good. I'm gonna go with palatial. And they're ones.
But can you spell it?
Palatial. Yes,
I'm gonna take your word for it.
I think it's a T at the end. I don't think it's a C. I think it's palatial, but it's a TIAL. I'm pretty sure that's right. I'm gonna look that up. I hope I got that right, because if I did, I'm impressing even myself. By the way, I won lots of spelling bees in grade school. So
you asked me to spell it, I would have put like a 7 in there.
Anyway, yeah, I think it's the capacity aspect of them. I think it's because they are kind of like the Fort Wilderness cabins, right? They're kind of away from it all. Yeah, it feels like you're not in Walt Disney World when you're staying at them. I think there's something interesting about that, because I have some friends who they have to
temper the amount of time that they spend in the parks. My friends that don't live here in Orlando, when they come and visit and we go to hang out, and they say, let's go to the parks, but I only want to go for like a half a day or something, because they're just not conditioned in their normal lives to be around so many people all day. And that's, from a sensory experience, that for them, it's tough. I'm not making fun of them or knocking. I'm just saying I understand why they feel that way. And so, like, for those kind of people, I say the cabins at Fort Wilderness are amazing because you can kind of be removed, and that can give you a chance to decompress, especially with kids. Your kids aren't used to that either. They're not used to being around thousands of people all day long. And in that, just the amazing things that they see and experience at the parks. Right. It might be nice to have some time away. The cabins are awesome. I've stayed in one of those before. They're cool. But like the treehouse villas, like that's like next level, man. That's really, you're kind of not in a bad way, but you really found a way to get some seclusion, and that's cool to me.
Yeah, I agree. And it's the same thing with the bungalows, and it's the same thing with the new villas that are coming to Wilderness Lodge, right? I mean, they are what, I don't want to say the next phase, the next level, because they're already here, except for the Wilderness Lodge ones, but they're what people want in Walt Disney World, right? You already get that complete immersion in the parks, and I think they want that in the resorts as well, and you get that with those types of rooms. You get complete immersion in the experience, in the theme, and you get away from it all. And I think that's a big thing. I think people don't want, and listen, I don't want to knock the value resorts because they're great. And if you're going to Walt Disney World and you want a place to sleep and shower, and you don't want to break the bank, the value resorts are obviously a phenomenal choice for you because they offer everything you need for a place where you're just going to sleep and shower. But I think for those who are looking for a little bit more, and for a little bit of that, because there's so many resorts in Walt Disney World that have that, everyone's on top of each other feeling. Not so many, but there's a few. I think these resorts, especially the DVC ones, offer a completely different experience, you're immersed in the theme. I think it's a big deal for guests nowadays.
You brought up a really good point because, you and I've talked about this a million times. I think the Wilderness Lodge, it might be like, I want to say it's my absolute favorite.
Yeah, I'm right there with
you,
man.
Top three.
Yeah, I struggle with, I say it all the time on this show. I say, I'm sorry, on your show, my show, whose ever show. I say it all the time. Like, I struggle with the word favorite because I say favorite way too often for so many things. But Wilderness Lodge is definitely up there for me too.
So, like, I've been kind of peeking around at the cabins that they're building right now, and they're definitely coming along quickly. But one thing I haven't heard a lot of people talk about is the pool that they're redoing that used to be over there. So let me ask a dumb question. Now, feel free to laugh. I won't be offended. That when, like, the pool there, and I'm guessing the other, like, Bay Lake Tower's got its own pool. Can regular guests use that pool? Like, if you're staying at the Contemporary or the regular civilian side of Fort Wilderness, or is that just for the DVC rooms?
So, no. If you're staying at the resort, you can use that pool.
Okay.
Just like if you're, at Beach Club or Yacht Club, they have. Well, Yacht Club doesn't. Beach Club has the villas. You can go to Storm Malone Bay. No, if you're in the resort, you can use the pools.
All right, thanks for not laughing.
No. But you are not allowed to you're not supposed to pool hop. That's just kind of the rule. You're not supposed to.
Wait, you're not supposed to what?
To pool hop.
Oh, I thought you said.
I know, I said it fast, right? I said it really quickly.
I thought you said you're not supposed to plop, and I'm thinking of that scene in Caddyshack with the baby Ruth.
No, I said it way too quickly. I do it all the time. Like, I have to slow myself down.
Are there some pools where it is okay to plop? Like,
you're not.
If so, let's get a list of those resorts. We never go there.
If you're staying in a DVC room, you're technically prohibited from pool hopping at another DVC resort. That's the rule. So,
by the way, I know you've done it a million times. I've got to imagine you've done this. Walking through the DVC tower, is it Boulder Ridge? Is that what the DVC side of Wilderness Lodge is called, or is there a name?
The recent name, right? It wasn't that before. It was just
okay. Yeah, they just renamed it.
Yeah.
That little lobby,
the best. I love that lobby.
Oh my gosh, man! Like that. If I cashed in the American Dream and got like a good frivolous lawsuit payout. Like, I'd like to have a house that looked like that,
dude.
Man,
the Carroll Pacific room might be one of my favorite rooms anywhere on Disney property. I love that room. They have the actual stock trains from Walt Disney's Carroll Pacific Railroad from his backyard.
I literally
so cool.
The first time I saw that was maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, and I just happened to be walking through there, and I saw it, and I did do a double take and saw the plaque. I was like, "Wait, that's the real? Yeah. These are real pieces."
He made those with his hands. He made those. It's amazing.
I was looking at like the lucite around and thinking, "This is like standard fare plastic lucite, whatever. It's not like bulletproof." Like I would think should be like the stuff like the Declaration of Independence is under.
Yeah, right. Wait, Nicolas Cage steals the Declaration of Independence way too easily in that movie. What's that movie called?
National
Treasure. He gets it. Yeah. He's way too. I mean, come on. He walks out of a gift shop with the darn thing in his pocket. But yeah, what's funny is I have that same amount of protection around my Olszewski, and I'm completely admitting to my Disney nerdship. I have the complete Olszewski Disneyland Main Street. And do you even know what I'm talking about when I say that?
I've seen the pictures. You put that thing on Instagram, man.
Yeah, so I have that.
Really awesome.
Yeah. Those were collected before I had children. My wife now, if I tried to do that, would probably kill me. Amy would kill me. This is how crazy it is. I bought the platform. I bought all the individual pieces for it and the characters and everything. I had the glass top made specifically by a plexiglass company in Philadelphia. Altogether, the set's worth about 10 to 12 grand, which is really dumb that I own that. I own it though, and I'm not getting rid of it because I love it.
But everybody has to have a vice.
Yeah,
man. I mean, to your defense, I mean, I don't see you're not the kind of guy who you don't throw money around willy nilly. I mean, you're very good and smart about your money, and you're very responsible.
Yeah, I'm not playing the ponies.
You're a very responsible guy. I mean, and you work hard. That's cool to have something like that.
Thanks for saying that because it feels like it's such a frivolous thing to own.
Well, just, I hate to say it, but when the time comes for you to check out and you donk off, your 3 kids, man, can you imagine the fight over that?
And the price that it'll probably cost at that point. Like I've thought about selling it and I'm like, nah, you know what? I'm keeping it. So my next move is, see, as you just said, I don't spend money willy-nilly. I'm making, we've talked about this before, my Trader Sam's in my house. But it's a tax write-off, right? Because I can do podcasts and live videos from in there. But that is going to be my coffee table. I'm converting it into a coffee table for my Trader Sam's room. So the lights will work. The music will work. It'll be awesome. So I can't wait to get that done. But anyway.
So you have somebody who's doing like kamikazes and like slams the glass down and busts it up.
Amazingly, it's plexiglass, right? So it's like hockey rink glass. So it's pretty hard to break. And if it does break, it breaks into, the edge, there's no sharp
spider
pieces.
Webs.
Yeah. And I also have it coated in almost like this clear contact paper stuff for like an extra level of protection. That's how nerdy I am. Anyway, where we started going with this was the Carroll Pacific room. That's the kind of, that plastic is the kind of plastic I have around my, again, it's worth a lot of money. I mean, $10,000, $12,000 is an insanely And I didn't spend that for it. Like, that's what it's worth now because most of those pieces are out of production, the buildings and stuff that they made. But that's what if it's the same level of protection for the darn Carroll Pacific Railroad, that's a little crazy to me. Because you're right. You feel like you could walk in with another guy and just pick it up and walk out of the room with it if you wanted to.
Yeah, you'd like to see at least somebody standing there guarding it.
Yeah, but there's not. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's just there. I was surprised. That's a museum. That should be in the Smithsonian.
Yeah, and the original I saw on my first trip out to Disneyland, the actual engine and a few of the cars of the Carroll Pacific were in the train station of Disneyland on my first trip out there. In 2009, I believe. And they were there. And same deal, man. Just a plastic, plexiglass cover on it. Now, I guess Disneyland is a little tougher to get something out of. It's not like you can pick it up and walk out of there with it. But, yeah, it was the same thing. Now they have a replica. As of last year when I was in Disneyland, they have a replica of the Carroll Pacific in there, not the original anymore. The original, I believe, is either in the Walt Disney Family Museum in San Francisco, or it's in the where else? The barn, his original barn out in outside Anaheim. It's in LA, right? Griffith Park in LA.
All right, let me ask a dumb question.
Sure.
The Walt Disney Family Museum. I was there in 2008, I believe.
I've never been there.
Well, wait a second. I was there and they were still finishing it. So I didn't get to see it opened. And I was walking the Presidio and just kind of twiddling my thumbs like, all right, now what? Because this is why I came here. I thought I'd try to get like a sneak preview, like soft opening. I was there right before it opened. So when I decide I want to go back to San Francisco and see that, is that something you can help me with? Actually, Can you book hotels that are not Disney hotels? And this is a dumb question.
That is actually a phenomenal question. And I actually am a fully licensed full service travel agent. So,
and is it limited to any brands or is it basically everybody?
It is everything, anything and everything goes. I can book anywhere, anything, anytime, just this past week, I booked a trip for 30 for an all-inclusive in Jamaica. So Disney doesn't have a resort out in Jamaica. I'm just saying.
I like how you said it the first time. It's like Jamaica.
Yeah, it was very like commercial-ish, right?
Yeah, definitely. It was very inviting.
I felt like Steve Carell in 40-Year-Old Virgin, Jamaica Mom. Yeah, but yeah, no, I can book anything. You want to stay in San Francisco? I quite honestly have never been to San Francisco, but I will do my research and help you book a trip to San Francisco. I've been to Ireland, I've been to England, I've been to, all over the US. I've been to the Bahamas, Bermuda, all that stuff. So I'm happy to help with any trip.
Let me just give one quick plug before I have one final question I needed to get your advice on. But about San Francisco, when I'm not staying at Disney, I'm staying at Kimpton Hotels. Have you heard of Kimpton?
I have not.
Oh man, they're great. It's like a boutique, smaller, kind of funky brand. The rooms are not huge, but they're in such cool properties, and they have a few. I can't remember how many in San Francisco, but they have them all over the country, like New York and DC and Chicago. Really cool hotel, and it like Disney-esque level of service. Like, I don't know, somebody's probably listening to this and have one sour experience. I love the Kimpton people. So to put that in your back pocket is something to look at next time someone calls you and wants to do a trip to one of the major metropolitan areas, like LA. I think they have a couple in LA too.
Good too.
But let me jump back into another point that I wanted to ask you about. This is again, anybody who's listening to this podcast who's stomached me for the entire time so far is going to hear this question and go, gosh, how does this guy find his way home every day? Like he should have a ticker tape parade when he shows up at home every day.
Well, you had that map tattooed on your forearm.
I keep looking at it upside down. Like, what? Where is this? If I go that way, I'll be gone to Cuba. No, it's I've been hearing a lot of people, I don't know, just coincidentally or what, have been raving about Olivia's Cafe at Old Key West, which, correct me if I'm wrong, is Old Key West the only DVC property?
Yes, the only pure DVC only property. Yes, it is.
So all right, so I got to imagine that if I booked a dining reservation at Olivia's, it'd be pretty easy to sneak through the gate and get in there. But if I just wanted to go see the property and just walk it and see what the grounds are like, what is it like to just pull up to the gate? Are they going to be pretty upset with me if I'm not staying there, or if I'm not a DVC card carrying member, or if I don't have a reservation? Because I really want to go see Old Key West and see what that's about.
No, absolutely not. No, you can go see anything. You can see any of the DVC resorts that they want you to, because obviously they want you to buy DVC. So they're going to let you
do the tour. Yeah.
Yeah. They're going to let you come in and check it out and go check out the restaurants and the grounds and think if you pull up out front, or if you take a bus from any of the Disney parks or Disney Springs or other water parks or anything, you can go right there. And if you're in your own car, and just tell them, listen, I want to tour the grounds, or I want to check the place out, or whatever. Yeah, you can definitely go in and check it out.
Yeah, I want to scope the place out, rob some cars, steal some car stereos. They look at me and say, I don't know about this guy. Not letting him through. You go ahead and turn that around there, Tubby.
I'm not letting a hoodlum in. His hat's backwards.
He looks like he's a ne'er-do-well. Yeah.
But no, I'm sure you've seen recently, there's been some reports that Disney's cracking down on the people that are parking in the monorail resorts or the Epcot resorts, and saying they're going to, say you parked at the Polynesian and said you're going to Trader Sam's. They're going to give you a little bit of extra scrutiny these days, I think, because people are using that as a way to skip the parking fees and go to the park. So, but yeah. I think you're fine at Old Key West. You're not really, you're not getting any kind of unfair advantage, really, unless, you want to take the bus ride to the park. I think they're going to be okay with you there if you want to go check it out.
Well, I don't know. Have you ever dined at Olivia's Cafe?
Stop at the Gurgling Suitcase and get yourself a. Make a nice
Wait, that's a real place? The Gurgling Suitcase?
You haven't been to the Gurgling Suitcase?
No, where is that?
That's at Old Key West.
No, I've never been there. No.
Yeah, so they have
a great name.
It's a great name, and it's a bar. It's a lounge bar called the Gurgling Suitcase, and it's based on Prohibition. That's where the name comes from. Where people would bring, alcohol was legal in the country, and people would pack their suitcases with alcohol when they went places, and hence, when they checked into hotels and stuff, hence the name Gurgling Suitcase, because there would be liquor gurgling in your bag. That's the idea for the name. I believe. I didn't actually tell that story really well, but it's pretty close.
Two things. Number one, it sounds like one of those places I'd like to have a shirt from if they have one, like a branded shirt.
Yeah, that's a really cool one. Yeah.
But let me tell you, this is a 30-second story. I'm not exaggerating. There's no hyperbole in this. I remember going through airport security one day years ago, and I don't know what the setup was or why I was able to do it, but I was able to see what the X-ray guys that we're able to see on as the bags were going through on the little belt. And the guy in front of me put down, it looked like it wasn't quite a briefcase, but something like that, like a laptop bag kind of deal. And I happened to see the screen. And when I looked at the screen, it was a pair of flip-flops and 2 bottles of beer. And I was like, are they going to stop this guy? It's glass. Like he could smash it and start a little fight with somebody.
This is pre 9/11.
It may have been.
It really had to be, right?
To have been.
Yeah.
Because it had to have been, because they're now you got here 3.72 ounces of shampoo. You can't have that now. Right. Whatever the rules change by the hour now.
They
anyway,
threw poor Jack's applesauce out. I didn't realize he had it because 4-year-olds, when you tell them to pack their stuff when you're leaving Walt Disney World or the Disney cruise, they'll surprise you sometimes, and they hide stuff in their backpacks that you don't know. So he had an applesauce in his backpack, and he got flagged by security last week or 2 weeks ago, and I had to stand with him. It's the funniest thing ever is standing with your 4-year-old in a TSA line while they go through his bag. Like, they're like, whose bag is this? And he raises his hand. So he's 4. Like,
and who's the animal at TSA that sees that poor little boy's face and grabs the applesauce and does like the grunk spike
he threw it
into the trash can with it? Yeah. Like, and that sick individual was like really reveling in it, probably like, I got one. Like, and, come on.
Like I get it. I get that everybody has the same rules, and I'm not complaining about that. But yeah, you're right. He's 4. Just be like, here, bud, do you want this now? Like, I would have given the opportunity to drink it really fast or eat it. It was an applesauce, the Go-Go Squeeze applesauce in a little. Gosh, by the way, now I mentioned the name Go-Go Squeeze people. If you're listening to this, my address. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, hit me up. Get you a sponsorship.
Phil at eartotheirtravel.com. We love Go-Go Squeeze. Anyway, I'm sorry I interrupted.
I was on the belt one time and put my laptop bag through and waited my turn. And sure enough, I hear like, the buzzer's going off or they're stopping. They're going to check a bag. I'm thinking, oh, great. What did I forget or something in there? And turns out. Was it
your gun, was it?
No, I keep that on my ankle holster all the time, man. I keep the pea shooter down there. Never know.
I do love the stories of the NFL players. Like all season long, every other week, some NFL player goes through security with a gun in his bag, and it's like, I didn't know I had it. What?
It's not mine.
Anyway, I'm sorry to interrupt you, man. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's like the oldest trick in the book. I'm like everyone, if you have like the pantheon of classic pranks, it goes like number 1. Hand of the sleeping camper into the cup of water. Number 2, baby powder into the mouth of the hairdryer. Number 3, put a loaded gun in your friend's backpack right before he goes into the airport. It's there. We've all done it, right?
It's so true. I mean, if I had a nickel for every time I pulled that gag, seriously.
I know. It's so funny. It's good, clean fun. These idiots think that every single time it's always the same thing. It's not mine. Somebody put it in there. But anyway, so the bells and the buzzers went off, and it turned out it was the guy in front of me, this poor little old dude. He could have, I don't know, 75, 80 years old, and he had a jar of peanut butter. And they said, "Sir, is this your peanut butter?" Like in a super condescending voice. And the guy's like sheepishly like, "Yes, that's my peanut butter." And he said, "Sorry, can't have it." And he like, just like a total jerk, like held it up like a good 6 feet in the air and then just released it into the trash can. I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah, I know. It's like the power trip.
Where did society leave you off so wrong to feel like that's how you handle that situation?
Right. I know that you're past the point of checking it, right? It's already, you're at the security gate. You're not getting through with the peanut butter. But leave the man, if you're not going to leave him with his peanut butter, leave him with a little bit of dignity.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, what's he got in it? Does he have like a little Derringer in there in the peanut butter? I guarantee if he does, it ain't going to shoot.
Because it's full of peanut butter.
Full of peanut butter. It's like the old cartoon. You put your finger in the barrel of the shotgun, like the 2 fingers, and it blows up behind you. Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
I let this completely derail. It's my fault.
We
were very professional for a while.
Back, man. That's why people keep coming back. They like that.
I hope.
That's what the word on the street is. I looked up a review of your podcast on Yelp. That was why everyone's put 5 stars on there.
On Yelp.
Yeah.
I actually registered for Yelp, and I never got one review for my my travel services. So,
ooh,
you know what? This is a good time to say, if anyone is listening, and I hope you are, because I know somebody is, or somebody's downloading every episode hundreds of times just one person is doing it. But if you're listening, why not just go to Yelp and leave a review? Make it a fun review. Make it funny. I would love to see one review of Ear to Their Travel on Yelp. Just one. But really make it positive, of course, because it's going to be a fake review. But make it fun. That could be interesting.
Oh, dude. Edit this out in post, man. Edit this. You should do like a contest like every month, and you pick out like the funniest Yelp review you find for Ear to Their Travel on Yelp, and you give them like, I don't know, give them like $20 off your service pack. You know, like I don't know, 20 is not anything anymore. Maybe give them like, I don't know, give them $50 off the service pack. You know, like the personalized itinerary and the fast pass bookings and the dining reservations, Disney Magical Express. Because like if you have like $50 off, that's like 5% off, right? I'm not good at math. Like, was it like $1,000?
We did talk about the math earlier. Yeah, neither of us are doing very well in the math department.
Oh,
wait a
minute.
Wait a minute. I'm trying to remember. You should be good at math.
No, man, I'm a product of public schools.
All right, so. Yeah, I think I've mentioned this to you before. I think it's me and you. We have this thing where we can't remember things very well.
Oh yeah, I'm terrible with memory. Memory and math, M's.
Memory, math. Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't charge anything for my services. Not unfortunately. I mean, really, fortunately for my clients, it's all free.
Wait. Hold on. No, I'm talking about, I'm sorry, man. It's late. I'm tired. I was talking about, you know, how that service pack with the personalized, what do you, I thought you charged like $1,000 for that. What is?
I'm starting to think that it should be an extra service, but because I want to be recognized by Disney as an authorized travel planner, and you know, I can't say what else because I don't want to get in trouble. But yeah, it's all for free. I don't charge even a nickel for any of my planning services, amazingly. Even if, as we were talking about, even if you're not planning a trip to a Disney destination, if you want to go somewhere else, if you want to go to Jamaica, if you want to go to Europe, if you want to go to Canada, as Bob Jackson would say, that's also in Europe. I don't charge anything for the research, the figuring it out, the service, the booking, the anything. It's always completely free of charge.
Dude, I'm so sorry. Definitely edit that out. I don't know where I got me. So am I confused with the quotes? Because is that where you charge? You charge for the quotes? That's where it is, right? That's like $1,000.
The quotes are free too. Yeah.
What?
Everything is free. Every single thing is free.
Oh my gosh. Great googly moogly. It's just, my grandma used to say, she used to lean down me and go, John, players going to play, and haters are going to hate. So I'm just going to shake.
She was a soothsayer, man.
Man, she was something. She was a handful. She was a handful. Grandma short sleeve. Oh boy,
dude, this may be the best plug for the business we've ever done. That's actually fantastic. The grandma short sleeve reference put it completely over the top for me, I have to say.
Wow, man. It's good. Goodness gracious. I think you better clear the phone lines because you're probably just going to get a wave of people calling in now they know it's free. I mean, jeez.
I hope
That's a deal.
I hope so, man. And yeah, thank you for always have my back and kind of give me the plug because I usually when I'm on with anyone else, and why I would do a podcast with anyone else, I don't know. But when I'm on with anyone else, I don't usually kind of plug it much. So thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. It's
so let's make it official then. If we're going to talk about plugs, so where do I go if I want to reach out to you and say, hey man, looking for info, trying to determine between it's a choice of 3: Walt Disney World, San Francisco, or Branson, Missouri. Where do I how do I hit you up? Where do I go?
So yeah, just you can request that free quote. You can find this podcast that we're listening to right now. I struggle between saying blog and articles I've written, but one of those two things. I don't know if blog's outdated, so I say both. with a blog. You can find all of that at eartotheirtravel.com. Also, you can find me on Facebook Live these days on Thursday nights at 7:30 p.m. And that address is facebook.com/ear to their Phil.
High tech, man. I'm impressed.
Yeah,
we're blowing me away with all this technology you're rolling out.
Even though I can't really figure out the live video yet, every time I schedule one, I have to cancel it and restart it. So I wanted to stop scheduling the videos because it's not working out for me.
Nah, but, don't sell yourself short. It could be worse. You could be like leaning into the camera. Hello, is this thing on?
Just wait. Give me a year or so, and we'll see. I'm getting older, but one thing I did actually want to mention that we didn't mention was the different versions of the DVC rooms that you can book. I didn't mention really. There's the studio room, the 1 bedroom, the 2 bedroom, and deluxe. They all come with different perks, different things. Like I said, after the studio, basically you're getting a full kitchen for the other versions, the other rooms. And there's different resorts have different kinds of 1 and 2 bedrooms. Like, for example, you can get a 2-bedroom room or 2-bedroom, DVC room that you would pay for that is a lockout room. So basically what you're getting is a 1-bedroom DVC room with a studio attached that has that kind of door that goes in between, if you know what I mean. So that's a little different than the standard 2 bedrooms. It doesn't really make much of a difference, but I just wanted to mention that that's there. And then also, when you're a DVC member, you don't get trash and basically mousekeeping service every day. You get it on certain days of your visit, but when you pay for the DVC style rooms, you get the mousekeeping service every day. So that's a big difference in what you pay for as far as when you book a DVC room. I just wanted to make sure that was kind of all out there and people understood it. So anyway, yeah,
that's a good tip.
Do with that with you, Will. I just wanted to I didn't want to forget that.
No, that's good, man. That's a good tip. I appreciate this, man, because like I said, I mean, this is honestly something that I know, or now I know a lot, but before I didn't really know a whole lot about this. And I think it's really interesting to know now that that is an option to consider as something that you can choose from for your vacation. And you don't have to feel like you're not, just because you're not part of the club and you don't have the tattoo and you can't stay there.
The secret handshake and the all that stuff.
Yeah.
But for a family, a larger family, it's a really good option. And all of the like when I say full kitchen, I mean full kitchen. I mean you're looking at pots, pans, all kinds of kitchen utensils and spatulas and cheese graters and all kinds of things. I mean you can make you can make Thanksgiving dinner in one of those rooms if you wanted to with a full kitchen. So that's really a nice option for people who are staying for a long time. If you're staying for a week, 10 days, 2 weeks, to get one of those rooms, you don't have to have all your meals in the Disney restaurants or, counter service or quick service. You can do a lot of meals in your room. We end up doing a lot of those. My wife and I and our kids do a lot of breakfasts in a room because, we'll buy eggs and we'll buy, cereal and stuff like that to do breakfast before we go. It saves you a lot of money. So it's a nice way to do it. And it'll save you money in the long run. And it might be something to think about if you're staying for a while. Anyway, man, so I'm going to take over as the host really quickly. I know lately you've been pushing people away from your own personal stuff when I've had you on. By the way, you haven't been on here in like a month plus. It's been a while. Which is a long time.
Starting to get worried.
I know it's a long time for you and I, right? It's like you and I we're used to doing one every 3-4 weeks, and I was like,
something I said?
I started looking back today, and I'm like, man, we haven't done one of these in I think it's like 5 or 6 weeks. It's been a while.
And you notice your ratings have gone up.
Oh no!
Since there's been an absence of one particular individual.
No, last month was you were on 2 last month. and it was my highest number of downloads ever. And then you weren't on one this past month, and my downloads went down by almost 1,000. So,
well, that's because when I get on, I go on Craigslist and I pay people to download and listen.
Hey, yeah, whatever works. Just don't let's pretend you didn't tell me that. But, so yeah. Anyway, you've been pushing people away from your stuff, from your websites. Do you have anything you want to promote, or do you want to kind of push people toward anything toward Facebook, or what do you have? Where can I point people to for Johnny Short Sleeve tonight?
Man, let me tell you something here. I'm going to do something that's probably the most controversial thing, and I'm being 100% serious here. And I'm going to, brace for impact kind of deal. Probably one of the most controversial things that's ever been said on your podcast, but I truly, firmly believe that this is something that should be said. The men and women of Orange County Sheriff's Office who protect Walt Disney World, the property, the guests, do a phenomenal job. You see many of them, some of them you don't see. I cannot tell you how much joy and happiness it brings those men and women to have you or your children just come up and say hello or smile at them or give them a wave or a high five or a thumbs up or just to say thank you. We're living in crazy times. I'm not going to get political. I know some people have certain feelings about this issue. But remember this, those are human beings that are putting their lives on the line every single day to protect us and to make Walt Disney World a special place. So if you find it in something that you feel like you could do, you may not expend a lot of energy to smile at one of them or to wave or to say thank you. But believe me, it will go a long way to make those people feel better about what they do and to feel good and feel happy. And you'll get a lot of good vibes out of doing something like that. So that's my pitch for the day.
Dude, very well said. And I agree. I think, yeah, those guys, you see them at the front of the park, see them around Disney Springs. And yeah, I agree. It's a really nice thing to kind of point people toward. I'm sorry. And yeah, thanks, man, for saying that. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man, definitely.
And thank you again for being the host and for running the show. And we're going to do another one of these. I like kind of being the one getting asked the questions. So let's do another one of these kind of style episodes soon. It was fun.
Yeah, man, this was a good time. Thanks for letting me do it. And I always appreciate this. I love the work you do, man, with your regular Monday podcast, your Word of the Week podcast, and your Facebook Live stuff and Instagram. And dude, you're everywhere. It's you put out great content. And for people like me, even though I'm very fortunate to be in the area, I still love consuming your content because it really is something I think is done well, and your passion for the topic does come through. So great job, man.
Thank you. That's awesome, man. I appreciate it. And as a lot of people know, and I try to give you credit, a lot of the content and the images come from you. So thank you for all that. And
no problem, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks for being on again. This was fun. And yeah, the 6 weeks is too long, so we'll do another one way sooner this time. So thanks again.
Cool beans.
And that's going to do it for this week's episode of the Ear to There podcast. Thank you so much again to my guest, or actually should I say host, Mr. Johnny Shortsleeve. That was a lot of fun to sit back and not have any questions to ask and instead be asked all the questions. And I apologize to you for every one of my answers being extremely long-winded. As you all know, when I start talking Disney, I just kind of can't slow myself down. So thank you so much for listening to this episode. I hope I gave you a little bit to think about, and maybe you didn't know that you could book a DVC room as a regular guest. So it actually is a great option if you have a big family coming, or if you would like to have a deluxe resort with a little more room, or like I mentioned a bunch of times, if you want that full kitchen for meals, if you want to cook breakfast, lunch, or dinner in there, it's really nice to have that room. So again, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode, and if you did, all I ask is that you do tell someone about it. And great, now I have Billy Joel's Tell Her About It stuck in my head. That's going to be in my head literally all day. Just remember, there will be a new episode of the Ear to There podcast each and every Monday morning, as well as a new episode of the Ear to There podcast, Walt Disney World Word of the Week. And that'll be each and every Wednesday morning. So until next time, thank you again so much for listening. Have a great week. Bye-bye.